Hey, riders and racers, and welcome back for another live stream. Feels like it's been a few days since I put a video together. So if I get enough of you on this live, I will do a quick Q&A at the end of the video. But the topic for today's video is how to stand up longer and exercises that you can use to be able to stand up longer. So this goes really for any type of riding where you're up on the pegs a lot. So it could be like extreme enduro, could be normal enduro. Hey, Matt. Could be motocross, could be like hadar, think desert racing type riding. Really any type of riding where you're up on the pegs and really fighting the bike or wrestling the bike around. So first of all, I want to explain that there's three levels of strength, okay, or three different categories, hey Luke, that strength comes under. So what I mean by that is, first of all, if you want to get stronger, the first part is we've got to do some form of training. And a lot of riders turn to bodyweight training. So in terms of the first level of strength work is you can start doing some bodyweight training. So if you're not doing anything at the moment, this could include doing push-ups, doing some sit-ups, doing some squats, doing some lunges, doing some planking, doing some pull-ups, anything that involves, let me sit up a little bit higher here, anything that involves your body weight, okay, and strengthening your body weight-wise. Really easy to get started with. You don't need any equipment. And is definitely going to build strength from where you are now if you're not doing anything. So that's the first level. Second level of strength building, which is a little bit more technical or a little bit more involved, is if you go to the gym and you can use different types of machines. So you can jump on the leg press machine or leg extension machine. Okay, you can do, hey James, you can do cable crossovers. Okay, you can do whatever you want. There's heaps of machines out there at your normal commercial gym. And that's a way that you can use to get stronger. Generally, that's going to be better than doing bodyweight stuff because you can load up the movements a little bit more. So when you're doing bodyweight work, you're always limited by your body weight, aren't you? So if you weigh 80 kilos, you're always doing push-ups with 80 kilos. So that might be okay for a short period of time, but you're just going to find it hard to progress that over a longer period of time. Hey, Belinda. Third thing, which is my favorite, which is level 3, which is the one that I use with all our riders, is barbell training. Okay, it's using a bar with weights on it to get stronger. And the reason that this is the best is we can load this up the most, and we can also get your whole body working together as one unit. And the other thing is, when you're using a barbell, your body has to create stability to do the movement. So if you use a machine, the machine takes a lot of the balance and stability out of the movement because the machine provides that for you, right? So if you're doing, say, let's say you're doing leg extensions, right? When you're on the leg extension machine, your body doesn't really have to balance because the movement has been narrowed down so far as to only target specific muscle groups. It takes the rest of your body out of it, it takes balance out of it, it takes stability out of it, and we're just isolating a muscle group. When you're using a barbell, you don't have that. Okay, your whole body has to work. So you might be doing a back squat, for example, with the bar, and yes, it's probably fair to say that it's a leg dominant, lower body dominant, but that doesn't mean the rest of your body isn't working. Okay, your core still has to work really hard to keep your spine straight. Okay, your upper back's working to keep the bar on your back and keep everything nice and tight. Everything else is working. Your glutes are working really hard to stabilize and keep your knees on track and be able to move up and down in the squat. Whereas like on a leg extension machine, your body doesn't do that. Your core is pretty much resting, your upper body's resting, everything else is resting apart from the main muscle groups that we're working. The other thing with the barbell is you can load it up a lot heavier. Okay, we can put more weight on it. Hey, Will, and the reason that that's great to be able to put more weight on it is because at the end of the day, that's what we want. So if you want to stand up on the pegs more, I feel like my chair keeps dropping and I keep sliding off the camera. I don't know if there's something wrong with my chair or the camera's sliding, either one or the other. So if you want to spend more time up on the pegs, then really what needs to happen is you need to be getting your legs stronger. Okay, and if you can get your legs stronger and your body stronger, you're going to find that you can stand up for longer periods of time. So the reason that this is important is if you look at your weight, so look at the weight of the bike. Your bike might be about 100 kilos. And then you've got your body weight on top of that. Okay, so let's say you weigh roughly 80 kilos. So that's roughly 180 kilos in total there that you need to be able to move, to wrestle around. And so when you're on the bike, you're not just moving your 80 kilos of body weight, because remember, you're pushing the bike into the ground to get into different positions. So especially like if you're going through a really rough whoop section, you're fighting against that 100 kilos trying to kick you off. So the stronger you can get yourself, the lighter that 180 kilos is going to feel. And the lighter you can get that 180 kilos to feel, the more you're going to be able to throw it around, but also the less energy you're going to use when you're riding. And so if you're using less energy, what that means is your endurance is automatically going to improve. So I'll give you another example of that. If you think about weight training, right? So let's have a think about, let's say a squat, okay, a back squat with a bar. Have a guess, have a crack, have a guess at how much weight you could do on a back squat for 1 rep. Okay, so even if you've never done it before, or you haven't done any squatting for a while, or you're not really sure, have a crack, have a guess. Okay, what number do you think that would be? So let's say it's 50 kilos. Okay, now if I asked you, let's say I stripped that bar, and what I did is I put, let's say you had 25 kilos there, okay, on the bar. So the most you can squat is 50 kilos once. Let's say we strip that off and I only put 25 kilos on there. How many reps do you think you'll be able to get out with that 25 kilos? If the most you can squat is 50 kilos, how many reps can you get out with 25 kilos? And so have a guess. So for example, give yourself a number, but let's say it's 10 reps, right? Now let's say over the coming months, you do a strength cycle or strength program and you focus on really getting yourself a lot stronger. I think that my chair is broken. It keeps sinking. Let's say that you do a strength cycle and you get yourself a lot stronger. Hey, Stu. And so you go from 50 kilos squat, and let's say you get your squat up to 100 kilos. Now, if we can get your squat up to 100 kilos, how many times, if we strip the bar again, and I put 25 kilos on there, how many reps do you think you could get with 25 kilos now? So give me a number, or think of a number. Now, when you think of that number, more than likely, it's going to be much higher than the number that you came up with when you could only squat 50 kilos. So you might be able to do, say, 20 reps with the 25 kilos. Now, what you've done there is you've improved your endurance and your strength endurance by getting stronger. And that's really the goal of strength, is the stronger you can get yourself, the lighter the bike is going to feel. So if your strength's here at the moment and the bike in your rider weight is here, okay, that's how close they are. They're quite close to each other. If we can get you a lot stronger, the bike and rider weight is going to stay roughly the same. So that's going to feel a lot lighter though. Excuse me. The bike and your rider weight is going to feel a lot lighter. And the lighter we can get it to feel, the less energy you're going to use when you ride. The less energy you use when you ride, the longer you can ride for at a particular intensity. Okay, and that's why strength work's so important. It's not the be all end all for your training. It's not the only thing you need to be focusing on, but it definitely needs to be a big part of the work that you're doing during the week or off the bike. So types of movements that you can use, because I've talked a lot about theory. So movements that you can use, movements that I use with our riders, can be things like back squats, overhead presses, bent over rows, deadlifts. They're a good start for a lot of you, okay, using a barbell. Now, what I find is most riders tend to go with the easier types of training, okay? A lot of people do body weight type training, and then there's a smaller group which use machines, and then there's an even smaller group than that which are actually doing barbell training. And the reason is I find most of the time is just difficulty levels. It takes, like, to do body weight training takes a very small amount of skill, okay? It's very easy to learn, very easy to do, very low risk of injury. When you use machines, it's a little bit more skill. You need a little bit more confidence going around the gym and using different pieces of equipment and using weights and knowing how to use them properly. And then on top of that, then you've got barbell training, which is a completely different game again, because machines are relatively easy to use. Barbell, there's a lot of things that can go wrong if you're not doing it properly. So the thing that's going to help you the most is the barbell training and getting strong, but it's also the thing that requires the most skill with your training. And really you need a coach or someone to be able to help you with that. Either you can do personal training sessions, you can watch YouTube videos, do a one-on-one session with someone, you can work online with someone, stupid chair, work online with someone, it's up to you, but you need to learn those skills. And the great thing about learning the skills of training is you don't just learn them and then they disappear. Once you learn those skills and know how to move properly and you've corrected certain things that you have issues with your training, then you can keep doing that for the rest of your life or as long as you're training. You've got that skill set stays with you. But at the start, it can be hard because you're just learning something new and you're probably not going to be good at it. So common mistakes that I see with riders trying to get stronger so that they can stand up more is they're scared to lift heavy. Okay, and multiple reasons. A lot of it's just the stigma around weightlifting and lifting heavy in motorsports in general, but more specifically in motocross and enduro. You're not going to get big from lifting heavy weights. Okay, that's not how it works. You can get strong from lifting heavy weights. What decides whether you get bigger from lifting weights is the type of weight training that you do and how much food you're eating. So if you find that every time you do weight training or try and get stronger, you start blowing up and putting on weight, it's because you're eating more food, okay? And likely not doing the right strength work to start with. So use multi-joint movements. Multi-joint movements use a lot of muscle groups together for one movement. So when we're working on getting stronger, it's very different. It's very different to how you would work to get bigger. So when you want to get bigger, what we do is we isolate muscle groups. We have like an arm day, a leg day, a core day, a calf day, or whatever, shoulders day, pec day, all that. And so the reason that the bodybuilders have those splits is because what they want to do is they want to smash the absolute shit out of one very small specific muscle group, And when they can do that, it causes all of these little micro tears in the muscle. They get really, really sore after training. And then what happens is those micro tears recover and repair themselves and come back a little bit bigger. Now, that's great for bodybuilding. But when we're talking about riding, we don't want to get bigger. Okay, we just want the strength benefits. So when we use multi-joint movements, what we're doing is we're spreading the load over your whole body, which means that we're not smashing the shit out of just one specific group of muscle fibers. Okay, we're able to spread that load over the whole body, which means generally we don't get as much soreness and as much fatigue from each session if you've been training for a bit. And that's going to make sure that you get stronger without getting bigger. Okay, the biggest thing you need to look out for there is that you're not eating more as you get stronger. Because I see this all the time. People say, oh yeah, I'll do weight training and I start getting bigger and putting on weight. The only way you put on weight is if you eat more and consume more calories. So if you're doing a particular type of training, chances are that that's cranking up your metabolism and you're going to feel a bit hungrier. So if you just keep eating normally, what you're going to find is even subconsciously, you're not even going to know you're doing it, you are consuming more food because before you might have eaten until you were full and that might have been at this limit. Now because your appetite is cranked up and your metabolism's working a lot harder, you eat until you're full, which is up here. Okay, which means that you consume more calories without even knowing it. Second thing is that riders do to try and build stronger legs to stand up more is they train endurance rather than strength. And so what I mean by that is I might have a rider that's like, okay, well, I've got sore legs and I do these 3-hour enduros and I need to be up on the pegs a lot. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and cycle and run a lot because cycle uses my legs heaps and running uses my legs heaps. So that'll build up the endurance I need. So like the example I gave before, running and doing cycling will improve your riding to a degree. Okay, it might give you this much improvement. But if we can work on getting your legs and your body stronger, it's going to give you this much improvement. And the reason you're going to get this much improvement is because, again, the stronger we can get your legs, the lighter the bike's going to feel, the easier it is for you to move around. So you can do that for a longer period of time. So it's bang for your buck, really. It's going, okay, I've got this much time to spend on training. How do I extract the most out of that limited time that I've got? And the way that you do that would be using weight training over, cycling like you do in the Tour de France. The third thing is no training system. Okay, and so what I mean by that is no structure to how you tackle your training and how you do your sessions. So when you want to get stronger, you need to have a system for getting stronger. This chair is really annoying me. You need to have a system for how you're getting stronger. So if you're just going to the gym and just lifting weights, or you're going into the gym and you're just making it up as you go, what that means is you're just using guesswork. And so you don't really know if you're getting stronger. You don't really know if you're improving. In the start, you're probably going to feel like you're improving because you haven't done the exercise before and you do it for a few weeks. But what we're really looking for is we want long-term progress. We want to go, okay, am I stronger than I was last month? Am I stronger than I was 2 months ago? Am I stronger than I was 4 months ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 12 months ago, 24 months ago? It's a constant climb like this. Whereas I find for a lot of riders is they want to find a group of exercises or a specific program and go, oh, that's the program that's going to get me fit or get me strong. But yes, it will get you fit and strong to a certain degree, but you have to have something that keeps climbing off that. You want it to be able to keep improving, not just be stop starting all the time. So you need a system for training. Okay, you need a plan or a program. You can either work with me, and I do programs and coach with our riders where we've got everything mapped out. If you've got someone else that you want to work with at your local gym, you can do that, a personal trainer, If you've got someone else that is able to help you or put that together, great. If you've got the skills yourself to put it to do it, then do that, awesome. But either way, you need some sort of system to follow. And the reason you need that system is because that's going to give you good, clear feedback as well as to whether what you're doing is working or not. So if I give you an example for our guys, I've got a training app that we use with our riders, and they record all of their numbers and everything. So I've got some guys that have worked with me literally for years, and they've got years worth of data and training in the app, which shows them if they're progressing or not. And shows me whether they're progressing or not. So that's what you want to be able to see. You don't have to use an app. You can record everything and write it down, put it in your phone. I do that for my own training. I don't use an app for my own training. I actually just record it in notes on my phone. I find that easier. But you just want to see that you're progressing. You want to see that you're improving, because then you know what you're doing is working. If you can't give yourself a number and go, yeah, you know what? I'm lifting 20 kilos more than I was last month, or I'm lifting 10 kilos more than I was 3 months ago, or my 5K road time is now quicker than it was 6 months ago. If you can't give yourself those clear numbers, then you don't really know if you're improving. You're probably just going off feel. Okay, and the problem is when you go off feel is we're a bit biased when we look at things. And what I mean by that is if you're doing a lot of work and you just started doing a program or started training, you want it to be working, right? You want to be progressing because you put in all that work. So automatically your mind starts to look for all of these areas it's improving that it never even thought of before. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're making progress. Okay, you need hard, clear numbers to go, these are the things we need to fix. So yeah, that's really it. At the end of the day, do some barbell training, get comfortable with barbell training. I did mention that I do work with a handful of riders. So if you would like help building stronger legs so that you can stand up more without having to get on the bike and go and ride every day, then feel free to apply to work with me. I just put a link in the comments for you guys, just a quick application form. I ask you a few questions. And then if I can help, great. Otherwise, if not, I should at least be able to point you in the right direction to someone who can help. Otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and looking forward to putting some more together for you and hopefully get this chair sorted as well. I'll chat to you soon. See you guys.